Good morning. Praise the Lord. Good afternoon if it's afternoon. Good evening if you finna go to bed. This is the Book of Racq podcast. I'm Racq. Sugar, listen to me. When I say, my God, today. Now, I know, I'm fully aware that the Bible don't say nothing about giving his strongest battles to his strongest soldiers. Fully aware it don't say that. Nowhere in the Bible. It ain't in there. You ain't gonna find it. However, apparently the Lord thinks I'm built for it tough. Titanium. Vibranium, if you will. Because what? What? The things are like, what? Okay, so of course your girl took, first of all, before we even get into any of all those things, are y'all good? Are y'all okay? Is everything okay? Is God is still good. He's still very much on the throne. That's what I know. That is what I am confident in. He is very much still doing his job. The Lord is still lording. He is still guiding. He is still being sovereigntent. Okay? Sovereigntent. Still doing all things. But I hope that you have been good. I hope that the last month, the last 2 months, last 3 months, this year so far has not completely sent you to the mental hospital, and that you have found yourself in a place of peace even when the world is falling apart around you, in Jesus' name. So yeah, I don't know. I am somewhere in between Lord, there's so much going on and it's above me. I ain't got it. I'm tired. I'm stressed out. I'm frustrated. I can't think no more. It's literally above me now. Like, I have tapped out. I have waved the white flag. I am done. And, well, Lord, whatever your will may be, let's just, let it be what you will, Lord. Somewhere in the middle is where I'm dwelling. Because Big Mama ain't got no more fight in her. I take that back. I have fight. It's just fight for new things. Not dwelling on any of the things that I've currently been fighting or been fighting in the last couple of months. Those no longer have my energy. I'm done. I have those things. I have certainly waved the white flag on. I can't do it. But I literally, I told somebody, and I think I may have said this on the closing episode of last season, about me being numb. And I think I got to a place where I was very much numb, because April came and put me on my behind. And I do mean like swooped up, dropped on the ground very quickly. It was like, you cannot be numb anymore. Like, you're gonna have to sit in this and feel all of this. And my body just went through all kind of things that, when I say, baby, I can't even tell you. So I took April off y'all know, from social media, from podcasting, from lives, everything. I took April completely off. And I had, excuse me, praise the Lord. I had tweeted like a week before, a couple days before, to say, I said April was about me. So April was going to be about making sure Raquel was okay. And so what happened was, when I got the unctioning or the pull to step away from social media or from any social interaction, like in that capacity, in the media sense, if you will, I immediately thought I was finna go on this whole like deep, intense fast for 40 days and 40 nights and seek the Lord and that's what I assumed was gonna happen. And the Lord was literally like, no, I just need you to not be a personality right now, because we literally have to do surgery on your soul. Or start the process at least, because I am nowhere near done with my work. But we had to start it. And so it became very clear to me very quickly, and I will tell y'all in a second, but very quickly, that this month was not going to be like any other month. Like, this month was not going to be one where you just take a little breeze off social media, you in your own little world, and like you just vibing and everything is fine. No, like, you're gonna have to feel some stuff the next couple of weeks. And I think a lot of times when you are on social media, or when you're just involved in the day-to-day of your things, if you're a content creator, all those things, you have so many tasks before you that you don't have spaces to breathe in between. Your sleep is not always the greatest. Like, there's different things that you face, or there's different things that are on your plate that take your focus and take your body out of, and your emotions out of reality. So you don't actually feel things a lot of times if you get into a good enough routine. You could just be going. You're going, and not meaning to do it, not meaning to escape, not meaning to check out necessarily of yourself, but you're just going. You're just going. So I had done that through all of grief stuff. I had done that through personal life changes and long distance, all these things, like physically moving out of my apartment, like, which I haven't even talked about yet, but like all these different things in a very, very short amount of time without stopping. And still trying to be in school and finish and not quit. Like, y'all know that's already a whole thing for me. So like, committing to staying the course and finishing what I've started at this point while working a full-time job. And like, I don't have nobody's sugar daddy. So like, nobody is supporting this process. This is fully a Raquel episode. And so like, navigating all of those things and never taking a moment to just breathe. And so April was dedicated to me just starting the process of doing some really deep-seated healing that needed to take place. So I ended up, I took April off. I shut down. I deleted all the apps off my phone, off my devices, everything just shut out. And that was a Sunday night, was the 31st that I was logging off. Hold on. Okay. Sunday was I was logging off. And so that Monday morning was the 1st, and I was starting strong, right? And I was in Tallahassee, At work, normal routines, moving, da da da. Already I felt my sleep getting better. Already I felt like, okay, I'm doing well. Bet. I don't know who this is. Okay. So I already felt like getting through all the things done, right? But Wednesday night, I can't remember what I did that day. I can't remember all the details, but I know I slept really well that night. Wednesday night, going into Thursday morning, I slept really well that night. And I think my body was finally settling to the fact like I didn't have any responsibilities, like I had no live the next day, nothing to prepare for, like I was really just resting. So I slept really great that night. And I don't know if I don't know if it was the fact that I slept really, really great and my body finally had a chance to process emotions or process feelings. But Thursday morning came, April the 4th, came and said good morning. So yeah, very quickly this went down. So by April the 4th, I have gone through, again, all of these losses, all of these transitions, changes, back to back to back to back, without any breath, any real resting time, any time to really just sit in my body, decompress, and like feel all the things, right? So that Thursday morning, I wake up, I feel good. I feel the joy of the Lord because I didn't sleep amazing the night before, right? And I get to my office early and I ended up journaling that morning. Like I wrote out some prayers to the Lord, just do it, God. You know, feeling great. And I started with the work day and I ended up having to work with somebody on something, but my work system at that time or that particular day had just been upgraded in the last like 2 days or whatever. And we realized very quickly that there was some glitches going on with this new upgrade and it was wearing my soul out. And I realized very quickly, okay, you're not working. And I instantly get frustrated, bothered. And so what happened was I got so frustrated and so flustered. This is an hour and a half into my shift. Hour and a half. I get so frustrated and so flustered that I ended up blurting out loud my frustration about this technology and what was happening. Now, Big Mama, don't do this now. It take a lot for my voice to get elevated unless I'm super excited about something. If I'm elevated in a not so good mood, something is very wrong. So I blurt this out, right? And I don't physically realize how loud I was. But 2 of my coworkers came over to me, to my desk, and just like were staring at me and said, "Are you okay?" And when they said it, it was instantly like, you can't hide this no more. You're not gonna be able to, you can't mask this one. You've been doing really great. You've been doing really amazing. Masking for months. But you have finally reached the point you can't mask this anymore. Your closet is open. The covers are off. And this like raging pain has come to the surface, and all it took was that one minor inconvenience that you couldn't control. And boom goes the capsule. And it wasn't even like, I wasn't like throwing stuff around the office. Like, I wasn't like causing a scene, but it was noticeable enough to know, for my coworkers to know, and we're close, all our coworkers are close. It was loud enough for them to realize something is wrong. So they left from whatever they were doing and came, sat, looked at my face. And my eyes instantly watered. And I said, I need to go take a walk. And they were like, yeah, go take a walk. So I gathered my things, not all my things, but just what I need to take a walk with. And I'm like, and usually if I'm frustrated and need to take a walk, I could just take my steps out and I'm good by the end of it. But the more I walked, the heavier my breathing got. And the more I walked, the more I felt like I was going to collapse literally onto the ground. I felt like I literally was about to explode, like trying to control my breaths, and I couldn't get it together. We have a snack bar in my office area. So I went and got a snack, and I said, food always make you feel better. We okay by that moment. But by the time I had the stuff in my hand, I literally felt like I was going to go into a fetal position and just trying to like pace myself like, Racq, breathe. Please breathe, baby. Please. Like talking, like it was like there was a part of me looking at me from the outside like, please breathe. Please take a breath. It's not going to end well. Please. So by the time I had the snacks in my hand, I realized, okay, this is more than just a walk. We need to probably leave the office for the day. We probably just need to go ahead and go. Granted, again, this is at this point, almost 2 hours into my shift. And I go to my boss and I say, I need to go home. And she was like, yeah, you didn't look like you felt well. And I said, yeah, I need to go. And I'll be back tomorrow. And I had never done that before. But I knew I was not okay. So I started grabbing my belongings this time, like all my belongings, like I'm going home. And I went to my coworkers and said, y'all, I'm going to go home for the day. And I'll be back tomorrow. And like, at this point, my eyes are watering and like tears are forming. And they were like, just go sleep, babe. It's okay. Because these are the same coworkers who have been telling me for months, take a day. Because they didn't even know everything, but they knew enough to know that I was not okay. And there was no way that a human is physically dealing with all of these things back to back, and she just like still showing up for everybody every single day. They have been telling me for months, take a break, take a day. And so I'm leaving out, and they were just like, okay, just text when you get home, we're fine. Here's the problem. I didn't make it good enough out of my campus, out of the parking lot. I made it across the street from my campus before I had to pull all the way over. And while I'm riding to just figure out where I'm pulling over, I'm like, who can I call? Something's happening in my body. I can't control it. I'm finna explode. Like, I don't know what's happening, but I'm not calming down. And there are moments like I could be emotional, and I know how to get myself together really quickly. Like, I can gather. This was not one we was finna be able to gather. Like, and I didn't know, just being straight up honest, I didn't know if I was about to drive to a mental facility or if I just needed to call somebody. But I just, and there was nobody in arm's reach that I could pull for in that moment. It was just very much like, something is off. Something is very wrong right now. And all I heard was the Lord say, call your dad. Now, my father is not the person that I go to in the midst of an emotional crisis. Not at all. That's not the person, because for me, in my eyes, he is Superman. He's Mr. Strongman. So I'm not going to go to him in nobody's weak moment. I'm not going to do it. That's like the absolute no-no. You go to him with the accolades, with the stars, with the promotions, all the good things. I don't go to him with breakdowns. But the Lord has set it up that 2 days before, I had, he had come in town to come see me. He was on break this particular week. And so he had come in town that Tuesday to see me. We had dinner, or he was bringing me something, but we had dinner. And we like laughed and like had conversation, and I was able to talk to him like my friend. And we just had a good time. It was just a good time. So by Thursday, in my mind, I have my dad back as my friend. Right? So all of a sudden, it was very safe. In that moment, I wasn't thinking, oh, I can't call him. It was, I can call him. He's safe. And so I pulled over and I just hit FaceTime, and I FaceTimed him. And at this point, tears have streamed down my face. Like, I'm not hollering or screaming, but tears are just streaming. And he was home. He answered the phone, and I didn't say nothing. I was just sitting there for a second. And he said, "What's wrong?" All he said was, "What's wrong?" And I exploded. To the point that it scared me. I am screaming. I am hollering on the phone while bawling my eyes out. Like the kind of cry where someone has snatched your very best friend right out of your life. And without warning. That is the best way I can explain that. Literally the best way I can explain that to you. So I am bawling on the phone. And he's asking me, "What do you need?" And I screamed back, like, everybody keeps asking me that, and I don't have an answer. I don't know what I need. And I wish everybody would stop asking me that. I lost it. And then I started naming out everything that had gone wrong in the last couple of months, and everything that was so out of my control and so not fair and so like not okay. I'm just trying to be a student. I'm also trying to be this employee and this social media personality. Like, I'm trying to do all these different things, and life does not care. Doesn't care. Life is knocking me upside the head and the heart at the same time, and yet I'm still waking up and showing up for people every single day. And I finally broke. That was it. And so he finally, like, once he let me get it out. And what he finally said to me was, "You're a part of me, but you're not all of me. And sometimes we just break. We're human." And once he said it out loud and I heard him say it, I broke further. Like, it was like any fear of disappointment, any trauma of disappointing or disappointing him literally was broken in an instant. Because I had worked so hard to be this strong, upstanding daughter and person, that it was going into like perfectionist mindset that I could not break. And I told him, I'm screaming, like, I do not break. I don't break. It takes a lot for me to break. I don't do that. And he was like, again, you're a part of me. You're not all of me. Sometimes you can't just keep going. And I needed to hear him say that. And so it took us a while to get it together. He finally got me settled. We got off the phone and was like, are you going back to work? And I said, no, I'm done for the day. He said, okay, good. So after that was over, I immediately, and I never do this, and I knew all of this was a God kind of moment, because in that moment of vulnerability and me feeling like I'm at my weakest point ever, I felt the need to lean on my village, which I don't do. I don't do. Everybody typically comes to me and not my village. My village doesn't come to me to lean on me. They let everybody outside of my village come to me to lean on me, because they know how many people try to get to me. So I know what's going on in their lives, but they'll wait a while before they unload on me, or they'll make sure that I'm in an okay place to handle whatever it is, because a lot of people are pulling on me, and they know that, and they want to make sure that I'm okay. They don't care about any other title, but is Raquel Sharice okay? And if she, the person, the human, is not okay, then we need to stop everything. That's where my village lives. That's where they stand. They don't care about nothing else. So I texted them. I put them in a group chat, and I texted them and told them what had happened from the time my first incident in the office all the way up until just talking to my dad, and told them that I just wasn't okay, essentially, and that I was going to rest and get some food, and that was gonna be it for me today. And I had also talked to my brother outside of that a couple minutes later on the phone. And what everybody came back and said was, you're doing a great job, and we're really proud of you. The fact that you have gotten to this point, and this is when you break, after all of that, you're doing an amazing job. You're doing so good, and we are so proud of you. They kept saying how proud of me they were, and they affirmed me in a moment where I felt like I couldn't even drive. I felt like I was breaking. Literally, my body broke. And so I finally got myself together. I went, took a walk at the park. That walk actually made it through. Went to the park, took a walk, and then I went to get some lunch by myself. And somebody paid for my lunch when I got there. Oh, thank you for my studio. 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 Yeah, somebody paid for my lunch when I got there. And so, once again, I'm a bucket of tears because I'm at peak emotionalism right now. And then somebody pays for my food. And so I text my parents that and told them that, and my mom was just like, it's just God's reminder that he sees you. And after that, I went home and I went to sleep. But April 4th was the start of what was a month of breaking down barriers and deep rooted healing. I had no clue what April was going to look like and how many God encounters I was going to have and how many days the Lord was going to literally swoop me up or send somebody to come and love on me in a way I had not known before. To the point that I almost, and as I sit currently, it's definitely giving God's favorite. It's definitely giving one of his favorites because of how much love he showed me in that 1 month alone. And it was the start of something so beautiful. And so what I'm going to be diving into for the next couple of weeks, for sure, and through this season 3 of the Book of Racq podcast, is the love that the Lord has shown me and how ugly healing can get. Because I'm not done by a long shot, but I'm starting therapy this week with a new therapist, and I'm very excited about that. And yeah, I'm having some very necessary conversations instead of just sitting in things I don't have to sit in and bottling up emotions that I don't have to bottle up. Whether that's in writing or verbalizing to a safe place, whatever that's been looking like, the Lord has set it up that I have been seen without me having to jump up and down and cause a scene. And during the month, a number of people without knowing it, would just send texts and say, "You are so loved. You are so loved. You are so loved. You are so loved." And the love and the care was overwhelming. I wouldn't say I was about to say almost overwhelming. It was overwhelming because I felt the kind of love that I felt like I had been giving out, freely, that I didn't feel like I was fully receiving back at all times. Apparently I'm hungry, so I need to go eat. But yeah, the Lord just set it up for me to get loved on, and so I did that, and I'm grateful that I did. And I am now very much sitting in what's next, but also I'm gonna move with you, Lord. I'm gonna go with your pace, because me trying to move this any faster or do anything outside of what you're wanting from me is gonna crash and burn, clearly, and I just can't risk that no more. So I don't know, y'all. It's gonna be an interesting season. It's gonna be a very interesting season. But I hope you're in the car with me. We're gonna do some work this season. But it's gonna be good. And I'm gonna be better for it. Healing is so uncomfortable. Nasty work. Nasty work. Nasty work. But it's gonna be worth it. So I love y'all so much. I missed y'all. I did miss talking to y'all, so that's a thing. But we're gonna do some talking. And I love y'all so much. We'll talk soon.